Welcome to the FemiNinja Project. I am your host, Cheryl Ilove, middle-aged ninja hiding in plain sight, dedicated to restoring human dignity one person at a time and helping you unleash your personal power. Discover that it's possible to look like a woman, act like a lady, move like a ninja, and think like a warrior. And remember, men are always welcome on the FemiNinja Project. One of the things that I love about doing these podcasts on the FemiNinja is being able to highlight people who are really truly courageous and strong and truly embody the spirit of the FemiNinja. And I have someone like that with me today. I would like to introduce my guest, Marcia Pinkstaff.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Marcia, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
You have a very interesting story to tell.
I do.
Yeah. And I think it's really important for especially the women out there who are listening to this podcast to hear it, as well as the men too, because I know there are some men out there who are listening to the FemiNinja, and thank you very much for tuning in. So I am just going to turn the mic over to you and say, tell us your story.
Okay. So, where to start, Cheryl? So I am a 6.5-year breast cancer survivor. Mm-hmm. And I'm single. I support myself, have been for a while, and I was hit out of the blue.
Wow.
I had a clear mammogram in around March of 2012.
Okay.
And 7 months later, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh my God.
Completely out of nowhere. It looked like an infection. It felt like an infection, according to my doctors. But it clearly wasn't an infection. It was something, getting a little graphic here. So
that's
guys,
fine.
if you don't want to hear this, plug your ears. But my nipples always stuck out. Mm-hmm. And I had one that was sinking. My left nipple was sinking. And I happened to look in one of those big bathroom wall mirrors. I hate those things. Oh, yeah, well, they're so unflattering, right?
Well, not only that, the lighting in them is just really heinous. So it's kind of like a double, triple, quadruple whammy at the same time. But thank God that you had that.
Exactly. But I kind of did a double take because I knew this wasn't how my breast looked. And I was traveling. I was actually visiting a college roommate.
Now, if I can ask, how long after the mammogram did you find this, or did you notice this?
It's about 7 months after.
Okay.
So my, of course, got back in town, called my doctor. They said it sounded like an infection. I said, cool, call me in an antibiotic. I will never utter those words ever again in my life. Of course they didn't. And they got me an appointment. Didn't seem like a fire drill. Everybody thought it was an infection. Got in there. Nurse practitioner was examining. And she kept asking me, are you sure you feel okay? And I thought, what is wrong with this lady? I keep telling her I feel perfectly fine. Well, that was a clue to them that it probably wasn't an infection because I didn't have a fever. I didn't have any other side effects of an infection. So even though mine looked very much like an infection, they decided that day I needed to go for a mammogram, ultrasound, and from there it was just racing, biopsy, all kinds of stuff.
So you went from that doctor's appointment. How long did it take for you to get the mammogram and ultrasound scheduled?
Oh, it was that afternoon.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you walk in there thinking, oh, well, I've got an infection. Give me some antibiotics. I'm going to go on with my life. From going right from there to a mammogram, an ultrasound, and when did they decide they needed to do a biopsy?
After the mammogram ultrasound, I was basically told, you're having a biopsy, and I think it was the next day or 2 days tops. It was craziness. And I'm a planner, so I'm the person who's like, oh, we got to do this a different day because I got stuff on the calendar. But obviously I knew the urgency of it. It's just your brain goes, at least mine went into, I don't know, just a weird, totally struggling even processing it because all the doctor's office even before was like, well, you had a clear mammogram, you should be fine. And that's what most of us think is we
Right.
have a clear mammogram. I didn't have a 3D. I don't know if a 3D would have detected it back then. Mine was a little bit unique. And I'm not sure if everybody knows, but they cannot see cancer cells under a microscope until there are 1 billion or more in a cluster, is what I've been told.
Oh,
So mine grew in multiple little clusters. So instead of just one cluster doubling, quadrupling, I had all these little ones. So they don't know if a month later, 2, 3, 4 months later, it would have shown up under the mammogram, but they know I had it back then. They know mine was aggressive, but it wasn't that aggressive. But by the time it got to noticeable, it was very aggressive because all of these cells were doubling. And I did end up with a lump outside of the milk duct. But obviously, if the whole milk duct is doubling, it's going to ooze out very rapidly. So mine was a little bit unique in how aggressive it was. So yeah, it put really everybody into a panic. My doctors thought they missed something. They pulled my mammogram, my past mammogram back out, and they looked at it closer and closer, and there was nothing. There was nothing there.
Now, do you have a family history?
I have no family history. And I took the genealogy test, and it was negative, which is good for my family.
Right.
So, but it just goes to show anybody, truly anyone, can get cancer. And it's really what you do with it when you get it. I had to do chemo. I had to do radiation. Everybody said do a double mastectomy, which I chose, especially after going through chemo.
So they did the chemo first?
They did the chemo first. And after meeting with the oncologist, she wanted me to start fairly quickly. We started within, I had it actually on Halloween, and I was diagnosed on October 5th was the day it was my official diagnosis. So we started it fairly quickly. I had a trip planned back home. My family's in Ohio. And so they let me still have my trip and start when I got back.
How did you feel even going on to that trip or going and being with your family? I mean, were you in a panic? I mean, I can't even begin to imagine what was going through your head and how you were handling this. You're smiling. And it's like,
it's crazy. It's crazy, Cheryl. I was in shock. For one thing, we had just, within weeks before, gotten the diagnosis that my amazing nephew, that he's my little hero, he was clear from his leukemia, that he'd been getting infusions. And my mom's birthday is actually October 4th. And to have to be going, and my mom and I are very close, so I was sharing things with her. And in sharing, thinking they were all going to be, oh, it's nothing, right? It's not cancer, until it was. And it's like, I think one of the hardest things was telling my mom,
wow,
hey, your oldest daughter at 42 has stage 3 cancer. And the whole family, we'd just gotten through it with Nicholas, and he was getting his poured out and I was getting mine. And it was super hard. I'm glad I got to see them all. I got to see my siblings, my nieces and nephews, including that nephew, when I went back to Ohio. And it's life-changing in, not all in bad ways. There's a lot of positivity that comes out of it if you choose to let it. And I went through horrible times. Chemo is, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It is the worst thing I've ever gone through. Some people say that about radiation, but for me, the chemo was absolutely the hardest.
So you went through both chemo and radiation?
Yes, I had chemo. I had a double mastectomy, some reconstruction, radiation, more reconstruction. It was a long, and then I ended up with a hysterectomy a couple of years later too. So it's been an interesting journey for me.
But that is exactly why I wanted to have you on the show, and that's why I've been stalking you. So sorry about that. Because, you're telling this story, and I mean, I can't imagine going through something like that and being able to recover with so much grace and so much vitality. And even when you're talking about it, it's like, well, yeah, it was a really horrible time that I went through, but a lot of blessings came out of it too. And I think that's really the important thing that I want people to get out of this episode is not only that, but everybody please get your mammograms. And
definitely. Even though mine didn't detect it, you have to get your mammograms. And if you can, get a 3D. But you also have got to pay attention to your body. I don't care if it's a bump on your skin, Guys too, anything that's not normal, please go get it checked.
And that's another reason why I wanted you on the show, so you can share that message, because paying attention to our bodies, a lot of times we really don't. It's almost like there's this screen, we're really not looking. Okay, we're looking in the mirror to put our makeup on, or, a quick glance in the shower when we're stepping out, a quick glance. But we really have to pay attention. Any single change that you have, not only, if it's visible on your skin or the way that you feel, it does need to get checked out. I know I talk a lot about alternative health on this podcast too, but you cannot underestimate the power of Western medicine in detecting cancer and curing it.
Absolutely. And, I've changed. I was fairly healthy. In fact, it's funny, my mom wasn't perfectly healthy. Everybody who knows me knows I enjoy my wine and my carbs.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
But I remember my mom even saying to me one day, she said, "You're my healthiest kid. And I just can't even believe this is happening to you." And it was eye-opening for our whole family. And so many of my friends, I'm so blessed. My family's all out of town. And I'm so blessed. I have such amazing people in my life that were a support system for me here in Colorado. And it's just, I've learned to, one of the hardest things for me was relying on other people.
Oh, that would be hard.
I'm pretty independent,
I've
for those who know
that.
me. And I'm very stubborn.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
But I had to learn to ask for help and let people help me. And it's kind of funny when you're on the other end, because people ask me for help, I don't think anything of it, right? But when you have to ask, there's something weird about it. And but it brought me closer to a lot of people.
I think people really want to help.
People want to help, and I've always been that person too, and it's just different being on the receiving end.
Yeah, that would be hard.
I've learned to embrace it, and it's just sometimes what life throws us, and we get to be in all different roles in our lives. And we actually, by letting people help us, I've learned that we're blessing that person. And I always, it's funny, I always felt blessed when I helped people, but I never really thought about blessing people by letting them help me. It's kind of a weird concept.
It is a really weird concept.
For me,
but this isn't the first time it's come up. I've heard this just recently. Maybe it was in a conversation with you. I don't know. But how sometimes that if we don't allow people to help us, or if we don't ask for help, we're actually denying them the satisfaction or the joy or the gift of being able to give of themselves.
Absolutely. And a perfect example of that is my mom isn't one who could wait on me hand and foot, but just letting her come out and be here with me during my double mastectomy. She couldn't be out here for everything, but I have the most amazing mom, by the way.
Aww.
Mother's Day's coming.
Hey, Mom. I know
Mom.
You're listening.
We're going to make sure she's listening.
Of course.
And she, it was so wonderful just to have her here, and it blessed her that she could be here and help me, even in, small ways.
Right.
And so I was, there's so many blessings that have come out of this. I love that I get to share my message. I love inspiring and empowering other women, men too. My line of work is more women focused, but and breast cancer happens to fall more with women, but men do get it. But it's really a message for anything. It's not just about breast cancer. It's just in life, paying attention to yourself and people in your life too.
Because we never know what's coming around the corner.
We sure don't, and I've lost too many people in my life, as we all have, and it's just amazing to me as we get older how hard it is.
The hard part about paying attention to yourself or taking care of yourself, or how hard it is to be dealt with all those losses.
The losses are the hardest, and it's more what we lose. But it can be hard to pay attention, but to your health at times and your body and things going on. But we know ourselves and our bodies better than anyone else. And there may be something you don't catch. Your spouse may catch something, or partner. But if you notice something, it's just critical. Just get it checked. You're going to feel so much better with the peace of mind when it's fine, which very high percentile it probably will be. But if it's not, you can catch it. Even though we didn't catch mine early per se, if I hadn't gone in, I could have been stage 4. I might not even be here today.
Well, just that one glance in the mirror.
One glance.
And seeing that your breasts didn't look the same.
And it was very rapid from them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was within weeks that I was told I had this horrific disease that if you would have told me I was going to get cancer, I certainly wouldn't have thought it was that. Might be from being a sun goddess, but that's not good either.
Are you still a sun goddess?
I'm not a lot, but I have to when I'm on vacation. So
and you are going on vacation
I'm
soon.
going to Maui. I'm so excited.
So I mean, I'm just so blown away by your story, and again, the way that you share it with such grace and such dignity. And you also mentioned just a little bit earlier that you do like sharing your message, and you do get out and do speaking engagements, don't you?
I do, and it's very important to me to share my message, my journey, and I'm always open if people want me to come and share, because it's so important to spread the awareness and really just make sure people are getting checked, paying attention for get your physicals every year.
So do you still then, you get your mammograms still, or what? How does that work?
Well, I don't have to get mammograms anymore. I do get ultrasounds yearly.
Oh, do you?
When you get a double mastectomy and they put in implants, you no longer get, they don't like to squish.
They don't like the big squeeze.
But I do get ultrasounds. I go to my oncologist once or twice a year, and my regular doctors, and just to make sure. So I had a little scare early this year. It turned out benign, but there was a lump right above my implant on the left side where I'd had my cancer.
Oh, jeez.
And a little bit of a scare. Fortunately, it was benign. We did decide to take it out. And so I'm a big advocate of I don't know the formal name. Doctors will cringe when I call them gummy bear implants, but that's the straight name for the implants I got. And there's lots of great ones out there. I happened to be in a test study and super excited when I had this benign tumor removed. It was sitting right above my implant. And my surgeon actually had to cut away some muscle. But there was no concern about, you don't know what a gummy bear implant is, so let me tell you.
Yeah,
so,
okay. You're obviously looking at my face and my blank expression.
So I'm not going to explain it very technically or eloquently, but basically it's silicone, but basically if you cut it in half, it's not going to leak. It can't leak because it's that consistency, so they compare it to like a gummy bear. So it never even crossed my mind at all when she was cutting and getting close to my implant that, because even if she nicked it, it wouldn't have made a bit of difference. She didn't, because she's amazing, but it wouldn't have made a bit of difference. So it was actually one extra kind of reassurance, and I'll never have to worry about leaking implants.
It's amazing how far they've come, isn't it?
Oh, it's crazy amazing. Now for them to prevent cancer. That's what we're working towards.
Yeah. Well, do you do anything as far as research in cancer prevention, or do you just not go there, or what?
I'm not a big researcher. It's just not my personality, but I do. I have worked really hard to eat healthier and get more exercise and take care of myself. And it's all a component for a better life in general, not just cancer prevention, but just to be, and it's funny, I walked my dog twice a day before I got cancer, and I was fairly healthy, but we all have our, what do you want to call them, devices. I like my wine and my carbs, but yeah, it's important to eat healthy. Exercise is critical. And just being out with people. I think social interaction is huge for good health also.
Do you almost feel like when you are taking care of yourself, like going to the gym, even though, I'm someone who doesn't really do gyms, but when you do get yourself to the gym and you do your workouts or whatever it is that you're doing, do you almost feel satisfied? Do you almost feel like you're giving yourself a gift?
Oh, I totally do, Cheryl. Even just walking my dogs. Sometimes it's like, oh, going to the gym or walking or whatever. I just don't want to do it. But after I do it, I feel good. I feel energized. I love how you put that, that it was like a gift to myself. It's focusing on me. And that's one of the things through this journey that I've learned. I put so much into a career in corporate America, and I've really learned that I have to take care of me. We all have to take care of ourselves. We have one body. We have one life. And we have to take care of it, and we have to and enjoy what we have. And I feel so blessed from all of this.
Isn't that amazing? That's just, it just gave me chills. I mean, that's wonderful. It just gave me chills. So let's talk about this, what you did say, something about corporate. Were you in corporate?
I was in corporate America for a long time, and I thrived on it for a long time. Well, one of the things I've found is when cancer kicks you in the tush, we use a nice word.
Oh, that's good.
Cancer kicks you in the tush. I don't have the energy I used to. And to put out all that energy for corporate America and to be hurting my health possibly. And so nothing against corporate America. We need it. There's great positions out there. But in my life, it was time for me to take control of my life and take care of me. And so I found ways through working for myself with my own business and just focusing my time more to take care of myself.
I hear that a lot with people in corporate. They know exactly when the time is to leave. And, with you, boy, that was pretty clear. And you're right. I mean, it's great working for corporate America or being involved in that, and it gives you so many tools that you can use when you do end up going out on your own. So tell us a little bit now about what you do. And it's really funny. I wish my listeners could see this because I'm sitting next to you and you're wearing all your bling and the light is just dancing on the wall. So if I look a little distracted to you, I'm just looking at the wall and watching all of the little sparkles that you're creating.
It's funny that you say that because there's nothing that sparkles like a Swarovski crystal. I'm super blessed to be with this amazing company. That's why I get to go to Maui for free. That's why I get to do a lot of the fun things I get to do. And we're it's Touchstone Crystal by Swarovski. We're the direct sales division of Swarovski, so we're actually owned by Swarovski. And same beautiful crystals, quality you're going to find in a Swarovski store, but we have different pieces. We have different designers, and I actually get to reward women, whether it's a piece of free jewelry, hundreds of dollars of free jewelry, and also help women if they want to make an income, if they want to earn trips like I earn, if they just want one night or multiple nights out of the house to have fun and make new friends. That's one of the things that I'm super blessed with in my business is I get to meet amazing people every single day of my life.
Now, how did you choose that business? Because there are a lot of different directions you could have gone once you did leave corporate America. How did you, I don't want to say it because I'm probably going to say it wrong, the jewelry that you...
Swarovski.
There you go.
So it's such a hard word to say. You just kind of learn it when you're doing the business. But, Swarovski wasn't my first one. I kind of fell into direct sales, jewelry sales, back with my previous company about 9-10 years ago. And I didn't want to do direct sales. I thought I would never like it. And I ended up signing up. Initially, I was going to do a couple parties, get the free jewelry I wanted, and I was gone. And I was 100% in my mind positive I was going to hate it. Well, it's been a lot of years. So through a company closing and then a second one closing, and I've done this part-time, full-time. Our quota is $1 every 3 months. So anybody really can do this if they want. And when I kept going back to corporate America, I kept getting pulled in. And when I got laid off,
it sucked you in every time, huh?
It sucked me in every time because it's the known income. I don't want to even call it stability because stability comes in all different ways.
Right.
And I feel more stability even just right now because I control what I do. I control how much I work, how often I work. And I can make sure I'm taking care of myself. But I kept getting sucked back in. I was in a in the plumbing industry, and nothing against the plumbing industry. I loved it for a really, really long time. And I still kind of look at some fancy plumbing as jewelry for your house. So if people don't get the connection, I love pretty things, and faucets and that excite me still.
It's so funny.
But
it's really funny the way you were talking about plumbing and sucking in, it's like, I see that little correlation there.
My grandpa used to call me all the time from the hospital or wherever they'd been and tell me what kind of toilets they had. It was awesome. My hero. Unfortunately, I lost him last year at 100 and a half. Well, he had a good life. He had a good life. We were all very blessed to have him for so long.
But yeah, nothing like talking toilets to really, bond with your grandfather.
Well, totally. And, I used to do lunch and learns about toilets. And
that's so
in
funny.
the showrooms. And they got kind of used to it. But when you had somebody new, they were always like, we're doing this over lunch. And it never fazed me, because for me, it was a different kind of thing. But that's kind of what I've done throughout my life, where I feel I'm best at is teaching, training, and supporting other people. And that's in those positions in the plumbing sales. I was more of a trainer. I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but teaching people, empowering them to sell the products that I represented, and building relationships. And for everything in life, building relationships is crucial. I end up with just meeting so many amazing people like you, Cheryl.
Oh, well, thank you. But that's a really key point, is the relationship building. And I think people kind of skip over that sometimes, especially when they're starting their business and they're brand new in it for the first time. It's, they're seeking business and seeking connections, but they skip that part of really building a relationship with somebody.
They do. And it can be hard, because we all meet so many people, and there's different levels of relationships. And that's one of the things throughout my business, that I get to get out and meet people, and I get to know, that was a little bit run on. I get to know amazing people, more women in my industry. Our jewelry is obviously targeted towards women. And
although
most people,
for the men who are listening, your women in your life are going to love you forever and forgive you for a lot of things. If you check out this jewelry, there's a lot you're going to be able to, cover for. So you might want to look at Marcia's website.
Yeah, we have some amazing gifts. So over half our line's under $50, and you've got the backing of Swarovski, which is really what pulled me in when I switched to Touchstone. I wasn't sure I was going to do direct sales anymore, and when I saw the jewelry in person, and just the backing of Swarovski was huge to me. And Swarovski does so many fun things. I'm sure a lot of you watch the Oscars. They do the stage, the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center, which I'm going in December to see this big, beautiful star. Last year's was 9 feet tall with 3 million Swarovski crystals.
Wow!
So I'm super excited to go see the one they're going to have out in 19.
Oh, how fun is that?
I have a fun job.
Yes,
what can
you
I say?
really do, and you have a beautiful job, because I did buy a necklace and matching earrings from you last year. I met you. It's been probably exactly a year.
Probably.
At Women, Wine, and Wellness, because I was doing my black belt little talk there for them. And you're wearing the exact color right now that I bought.
Yep, you got a good one.
I did. Oh my gosh, it's like a coral color. It's just so yummy. It makes your mouth water. And I had just bought a top, and I was like, I'm not sure. I didn't have it with me if it was going to match. And when I bought the jewelry, and it was an absolute perfect match. And then I had also bought a sundress that was the same color, and it was drop dead gorgeous together. And I told you that I went to that reunion, that pool reunion that we had back east. And when I got got back to the hotel room, and I went to take my jewelry off, my necklace was gone. And I was so upset and so bummed out. And I thought, oh my gosh, the next day we're going to go back to the restaurant. We were outside, I'll look in the grass, I'll do whatever. And then when I took my dress off, it kind of fell off. So I didn't have the clasp all the way, but I was really happy that I didn't lose that.
I'm so happy you didn't lose it.
Well, because I was thinking, I'm just going to have to call Marcia and buy another one.
Well, we can always do that too.
Yeah.
But I want you to be able to buy something else in addition, not have to replace.
Well, and you notice I do like blue a lot. I wear a lot of blue.
You look gorgeous in blue, by the way. It's a great color on you, Cheryl.
So how can people get a hold of you?
My phone number is 303-947-0274. That's my mobile. You can call me, text me. Text, you might catch me better. But we'll post my email, my website. You can shop anytime. I love, love, love giving away free jewelry and just having fun evenings with women. So if it's something you just want to get your friends together, no pressure. We just have fun. And if you know anybody who wants to do fun things and or make a little extra income, I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee and just chat. No pressure. I'd love to just get to know each and every one of you out there and make new friends. So I'm so blessed and happy that Cheryl asked me to do this. So thank you, Cheryl.
You are welcome. You're a wonderful guest. And is there anything else that you would like to share with us regarding our health? I think what just really resonates with me is when you're talking about, the not only the blessings at the end of the tunnel, once you went through, but it's not only that you're talking about it, but I visualize, I see it in you. I mean, you just have a glow, you have a vitality and a vibrancy that just really shines through. I really, I just was attracted to you from the very first moment that I saw you. It's like, you got something special going on, girl.
Well, thank you. I think the biggest message, there's a couple. One is pay attention. If something's different, get it checked. And get out, have fun, enjoy your life. Whatever you love, do it. And surround yourself with positive people.
Yay, that's a real good one.
Stay positive. Believe in yourself. Empower, inspire yourself and others. And you're going to have a great life.
Oh, that's wonderful. So before we wrap it up, though, I just want to remind our listeners that Marcia is also available for speaking engagements, education. So if you want to hear a little bit more about her story, or just somebody who's looking for someone who could talk about, breast cancer and be inspired by just listening to her and looking at her, because she truly is an amazing lady.
Well, thank you.
Well,
and yes, please contact me.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Marcia. I really appreciate it. It's been just great having you, and I can't wait to see you again. And I got to get a little bit more of your bling going on.
We can do that.
I know you can. So everybody, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And remember, pay attention to your body, pay attention to yourself, and just go out and live life and make a lot of friends. So thanks for listening, and until next time, bye now. And that's a wrap on another episode of the FemiNinja Project. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, be safe, be strong, and until next time, bye now.